We are starting here, yes. And then now we're going to have so much more energy middle of the day. I knew that Nicolette will be just the perfect person to bring it to the middle of the day.
Yes, I'm bridging the day with that heart chakra.
Yes, we're bridging that day with the heart chakra. And Nicolette is alignment and authenticity mentor, a soul branding coach. And I want to share a little history bio. Well done. Nicolette Ray is an intuitive branding and business mentor who is bridging the gap between business strategy and energetic magnetism. She believes that building an elevated brand, it's all about owning who you are, aligning with your truth, elevating your frequency, and showing up for your purpose. She helps her clients build brands through energetic mastery, aligned brand aesthetic, and magnetic marketing and messaging. All right, welcome, Nicolette.
Yay, I'm here.
Multi-passion. Such a multi-passion girl.
All the things, yes. And it's, well, with branding, I really am a firm stand that you get to have all of your passions under one roof.
Oh, so good. They're so good. Absolutely. All right. So I would love to ask you to share with all about you. How did you become all-in-one and such an amazing woman?
Yes. Okay. So the short version of this story, I was a yoga teacher and a graphic designer, and I was doing those two things separately. And I was finding that I had this like deep desire to do both, but at the same time. And I asked myself this question: how can I combine teaching yoga and graphic design, branding, websites, all the techie stuff? Like, I don't know, how do these things go together? And the reason is because of my why. My why in both areas were exactly the same. It was a stand for authentic expression in the world, being your true self. So sandwich those two offerings together to really coach people around being their most authentic selves and building a brand around who they really are. So that's how I got to doing what I am doing today, combining my passions and just following my yes, following my inner yes all the time.
Amazing, amazing. Nicolette, do you guys remember I told you that two interviews before, my branding coach made me to do this meditation, and that was Nicolette. I was sharing the process. We were speaking about branding, and you are the queen of branding. So tell us more.
I am a queen of branding. It is true. It is true.
It's great on my brand, visuals and beautifulness of the brand that I have, and we're still in progress. So we're almost,
Branding is an ever evolving thing, just like us. And, you know, my firm stand on branding is that it should be a representation of your inner essence. So it's got to capture how you feel in person. What is your energy like? What's your personality like? Like, what do you stand for in the world? What kind of relationships do you want to have with your clients? Branding is so much more than, oh, I like the color pink and I like this font. It's so much more than that, because when someone is working with you one-on-one, like let's say they're hopping on a sales call with you, they should already be familiar with who you are, what you stand for, what kind of energy you have. Because when you get onto the phone, from like somebody knows you from social media, somebody's checked out your website, somebody's on this thing with you right now, and then they get onto a sales call with you and it's like a completely different person than what they're experiencing online. There's a disconnect, and it's a disconnect of trust. And this trust and knowing your ideal client is so connected to the heart chakra. It's connected to, do you really understand, know, feel your ideal client? Can you resonate with them at a heart level? And part of that is like this branding story. Can you be fully authentic and aligned in your branding so that you can create that trust and connection with your ideal clients?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I've been just like multitasking here and grabbing your link because of
It is broken. I
know.
figured it out.
Put
It
in the
is.
chat.
I will.
Okay,
Yes.
later. When just whatever later. I was just looking for the one that I have the meditation with because you sent it to me and that was so gorgeously beautiful. Tell us about this process. I think it was so powerful us creating it.
I love this process and it works every time. So with building your brand board, like what does my brand get to look like? People are asking this question all the time and they're usually looking at it from a comparative perspective. So they're looking out at all of these amazing influencers online and going on everyone else's websites and they're comparing themselves. And this comparison is actually what dims our unique light. So when we compare and we go, oh, I am supposed to look like so-and-so, and I'm supposed to edit my photos like so-and-so, and my logo, and this is the trendy font right now, and millennial pink is so in, like it's not about what other people are doing. Again, it's about capturing your own inner essence. So I've created this visualization, this meditation that I lead every single one of my branding clients through, and I've been doing this for years, and it works every time. It gets you out of your head around what your brand is supposed to look like, from like colors and fonts and logo shapes and all of these things that we think branding is. And it gets you into your heart space. It gets you into your own alignment. It gets you out of what you think you're supposed to look like and into what is your actual inner essence. And it has nothing to do with logos, fonts, and colors. It's pretty insane. So during this process, you are essentially like, you have a blank canvas. I won't spoil what happens, so you can kind of just like go into it, but you have a blank canvas to put your essence all over. And some of my clients are so shocked at what comes out of them, what is elicited out of them when they get out of their own way. And they're like, whoa, I never even realized that this was like a color I wanted in my brand. Like I hate that color in real life and now here it is and now I'm loving it. Or some of my clients are putting themselves out there before they're working with me and they're getting the wrong kinds of clients. They're calling in people and then people are surprised when they get on the phone with them. They're like, you portray yourself as like so hard and badass, and then I'm on the phone with you and you're like so soft and feminine and gentle. It's like everything's got to match. So when you go through this process, you create a Pinterest board. This is the beginning of branding. You create a Pinterest board that captures this inner space. And what I do with my clients is I take them, I sit down with them and we go through this entire Pinterest board, right, Victoria? We go through it together and I'm like, why'd you pin this? Why did you pin this? Why did you pin this? And we start to pull out the patterns, the synchronicities, the through line. We start getting underneath, like, why did you actually pin a thing? It's not just about what it looks like, but it's about how it feels. It's about how you want your ideal clients to feel when they walk into your website, your social media, your offering, your virtual retreat. It's about how you get to feel and how you are sourcing that same feeling for the people who you get to work with. So this meditation is the gateway into discovering like the very foundation of your brand aesthetic. It's really good.
Oh, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it because it brings you to the heart, and I want to come back to our hearts. Yes. And how do we connect, right? Okay, we do this visual representation and it's all great, but how do we, what stories do we share? And I know you are so good and you have such amazing stories. And Nicolette, by the way, she is my leadership. We was in the same leadership class and she met a guy and married him in 3 months. So tell us the story.
Yes, it was totally crazy.
Totally crazy and beautiful.
Well, I think that's the beautiful thing about the heart chakra is, again, it's trusting yourself, loving yourself enough to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, the stories come through. When you trust yourself, you are guided by, like, it's not about thinking, it's about feeling. The heart chakra is all about feeling. Being open, expansive, vulnerable, compassionate, connected. And when we are being those things in the world, we can source absolutely anything from love to ideal clients to opportunities. We're just open vessels. The heart chakra is like the center of crazy magnetism. And yes, I met my husband in January in this training. And it was so funny because I had just gotten out of this really horrible relationship. And no offense to my ex, I love that guy and we're friends now, but I was heartbroken and I was not in a place of trust. And when I close off my trust, I see the effects not only in my love life, I see the effects in my business. So I wasn't even trusting myself to launch anything, to put anything out there, to share my voice with the world. I was totally shut down because the magnetism of the heart chakra, when it's shut down, you're not sourcing anything. And so when I stepped into this room, I had an opportunity to lean into trust. And it's funny because like there's this exercise that we do in leadership around trust. And that exercise was the moment I actually met my husband. And I had to say to him, I'm like, I trust you. And it was such a breakthrough because I was not in a space to trust anyone, especially men. And that opening of trust, opening up my heart space again, trusting myself, trusting the universe allowed me to source the relationship and eventually the marriage that I had always been dreaming of that I thought wasn't possible when I was shut down. So that's like a tiny little sliver of the story.
That's how how you choose to trust. It's you choose to trust. You don't say like, oh, you know what, I think I don't trust you. Or like, oh, maybe you. Yeah. I think I can trust you. Like there's no middle. You trust or you don't trust. And that's what takes you in or out, inside the heart or outside of the heart to the head when you stop trusting yourself.
Are you making people boxes? Oop, I think we froze a little bit.
We're good now.
Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, I was just saying, like, are you making people and your external circumstances like check the boxes so you can trust? Like, oh, well, I'm going to trust in my purpose. I'm going to trust the universe when the clients show up or when the money shows up or when the audience grows. That's you wanting and waiting. It rather than you trusting yourself and being the source of trust, choosing trust, and then watching your world expand and the opportunities and the money and the abundance and the clients just come in. It's magnetizing them to you rather than you like chasing them and being in that exhaustion and that hustle and that burnout. Yes.
So good. All right. So how do we come back to the business, right?
Yes.
Why is it so important? You already just mentioned it's because we magnetize. And I believe once we do things and we trust ourselves and we do more of what we meant to do, our aura becomes so much stronger. And once it's stronger, people, they're magnetized to you. They're mesmerized by you and they're just magnetized by you. Yes. So how do we engage? Right? How do we create that awareness and engage with them through our heart chakra?
Yeah, well, I love that you are talking about the aura because the aura is your brand. That's what it is. Your brand is your little universe. And when people are following you on social media, when they're choosing to work with you, when they're in your field at all, they're actually in your auric field. So the more you expand your aura, the bigger of an audience you have, the more abundance you're calling in. It's the more space you can actually hold for what it is that you desire. And so when I'm building brands with my clients, we're actually working through the chakra system. The chakra system is so incredible because it's not just some woo-woo energy, airy-fairy thing. It's the building blocks for being in your leadership, in your integrity, in your alignment. And so when you align your chakras and they're all like spinning magically, your aura expands. That's how it works. Like aura cannot expand when you are misaligned. So the heart chakra in the branding perspective is all about your ideal client, your niche. How do you connect to your audience? And so with business, if you could have the best offer in the world, you could be so confident, you could be like amazing and radiant and magnetic and know your why and do all the things. But if you don't know how to resonate with your ideal client, then you are screwed, because you have to be able to not only speak and write copy that like is good, but it's got to resonate with your ideal client at the heart level. So there's throat chakra copywriting, and then there's heart throat chakra copywriting. And when we are feeling into our ideal client and feeling into ourselves, because a lot of times our ideal client is just a past version of ourselves. We've been there, we've done that, we've felt the pain, we've struggled, we've gone through it, we've gone on the roller coaster that our ideal clients are currently on. And when you can go and access that compassion and connection to your ideal client and bring that through in your copywriting, in your speaking, that is when you build a really engaged audience, an audience who trusts you, an audience that wants to buy from you, an audience that wants to share your message. Because if your message is resonating with your audience, then guess what? It's going to resonate with their friends and their community and their tribe. And this is how it starts to expand. You don't worry about like, oh, what am I going to say? You get out of your head into your heart and ask yourself, what does my ideal client need to hear today? What do they need to hear to go right into their struggle and shift it? What do they need to hear in order to have what it is that they want? Where are they currently at? So that's a little bit about like using the heart chakra for growing your audience.
Perfect. Perfect. So a lot of us people and people who are starting out business or growing business, I mean, our ideal avatar is always evolving in process.
Yes.
Like for sure. But how do you start and how do you know who to talk to? Do you have any tips how to find them and how to grab those heart, throat, chakra words copywriting?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so there's two things here. One, you got to be passionate about who you're talking to. If you don't love who you're talking to and who you're serving, like that's just heart chakra 101. Heart chakra is love. The heart is love. If you don't love who you're talking to, you're not passionate about speaking to those people, they're not your ideal client. You got to be lit up about your ideal client. And sometimes you're working with an audience in your current business and like it's not, maybe at one time they were your ideal client and then you're feeling like that lackluster feeling. That is a calling to expand your vision of your ideal client. You get to have it all and you are constantly evolving and expanding. So why do you think your ideal client wouldn't be doing the same? So you get to be really passionate about who you're serving. So also look at, who have you been in the past? Where have you walked that you don't want anyone else to have to go through? When you can access your pain and your trauma and use it for good, this is how you can also find your ideal client. Because if you've been through it, I always say it is your responsibility to teach the lessons that you have learned along the way. Whether you are just like a normal human in the world, or you're a coach, or you have a big purpose, you're speaking, like whatever, it doesn't matter. Everyone has that responsibility to be teaching what they're learning in the world. And with ideal clients, that's the gateway, like your pain and your trauma is the opening, the gateway to really understanding who your ideal client is, who you're really meant to serve. Now, using your ideal client's heart chakra space to connect and build that resonance and connect heart chakra with throat chakra, I have all of my clients do this. It is a list. You got to make a list of 30 pain points and 30 desires. And when I'm talking about pain points and desires, like you're probably like, yeah, I've heard this before. No, I want you to go like 10 levels deeper than you've ever gone. So pain, Like, this is not a list of my ideal client is stressed. My ideal client is overwhelmed. My ideal client is tired. That is so surface level. That's not the heart chakra. Heart chakra means you're going deep with your people. So why is your ideal client stressed? Let's say you work with moms. Okay, so your ideal client is a mom. Moms are stressed out. Great. Tell me why. Paint the picture of her pain to me. So my ideal client, she's a mom and she is so stressed out because she has been cleaning up Legos all freaking day. And no matter how many times she cleans up those damn Legos, they are multiplying like rabbits. She stepped on 5 Legos today and she doesn't know if she'll ever not have a Lego underneath her foot. She is so stressed out about those damn Legos. And she has no time to actually focus on herself because she's spending so much time focusing on picking up Legos. Okay, so that is so uber specific, and it might not resonate with you if you've never had to pick up Legos, but if your ideal client is a mom who's picking up Legos, she's gonna read that or hear that and be like, she's speaking my language. That's what I said in my head this morning. And that is having her lean in, open up her heart, open her field to being in your field. It's got to be so specific. So those pain points and desire points get to be so specific, like you're painting a picture, like you're leading someone through a visualization. And that is how you start to utilize this heart chakra to create content ideas, copy ideas, marketing ideas, offering ideas for your specific ideal client.
Yes, I love that. This is so good. And you know, it just came to my mind when you are not sure what to write. There's exercise in NLP where you usually you do that to overcome the traumas and when you talk to your mom and blah, blah, blah. So the exercise is called empty chair. And what I found that also works with your ideal client. You can just sit, put the empty chair in front of you, sit on another chair and then start. Okay. Give a name. My ideal client name is Katerina. And I'll be like, okay, Katerina, so what are you up to now? And then you switch to another chair. So your spirit just go, it's like start a channel and you go to that perfect space of being your ideal client when you switch the chair. And she will tell you everything. If you can just connect with this. I think this is just a brilliant exercise to connect with your clients, with your whoever you want.
It's just like how we were talking about with the meditation. Get out of your head, get out of your own way, and let your heart lead. Let your intuition lead. Like sit in that empty chair and just let it out. I love that idea. So good.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I know that you have been doing a lot of different things right now in coaching and in another coaching leadership group. So what is your experience to see when people are not in their hearts, like they are in their heads, but what is preventing them? Like how they can overcome that blockages? Because it's easy to say drop in the heart, but some of us, we can't do it, right? So how do you do this?
Yeah, totally. I think it's a conversation about, are you being connected or are you doing connection? Are you being generosity or are you doing generosity? Whenever you're doing a thing, are you doing the copywriting or are you being the copywriting? Like there's a difference. There's a specific vibration of, let's talk about connection, because connection is like the heart chakra and what it stands for, especially like in life and in business. We get to connect with our ideal clients. So are you doing connection? Doing connection might look like, I'm doing all the things, I'm writing all the copy, I'm doing all the courses, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I swear I'm doing it. Where is the success? Oh, this is so frustrating. I'm doing everything. Why isn't this working for me? And you go into that meltdown, right? That's the classic entrepreneur meltdown, which like we all go through it, like no matter how successful you are. It's just a part of it. And then what is being connected like? Being connected is being open. Being connected is feeling your feelings. Being connected is networking with a higher intention than it just serving you. being connected is active listening. Being connected is different than doing connection, like checking the boxes like we were talking about. So how can you start to access and open up your heart chakra? Gratitude is a great practice. And I know you might be rolling your eyes like, oh my gosh, I've heard about gratitude so many times. It's the same thing. Are you being grateful or are you doing gratitude? Like, let me write my 10 lists of gratitudes for the day. That's doing gratitude. Are you feeling what you're grateful for? Are you experiencing life? The heart chakra is all about feeling. So get present and connected to your everyday experience, even if it's just like drinking a glass of water. Can you experience the pleasure of drinking the water? Connect to the glass of water, connect to what the glass feels like in your hand. Like, really, it's all about opening up, feeling, and just getting connected to your everyday experience and clearing anything that is blocking you from love. So that is forgiveness work, whether that's forgiving yourself or forgiving others. Like, clear the blocks and the shadows within your heart chakra by forgiving, which is just choosing peace for yourself. Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. I just want to like soak in this for a minute. So wonderful. I'm loving how clear, articulate, and energetic you are, Nicolette. Thank you.
That is because I am speaking from the heart chakra.
Walking the talk.
Yes.
Walking the walk.
Walking that talk. Yes.
Walking that talk. Yes. Any last tips and last advices you would love to share with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my biggest stand in the world is that you get to be exactly who you are. Just like Eder said, yes. Just like he said, or she said, whoever that is, just like they said. And when you allow yourself to know the value of who you are, just as who you are, you get out of the story of, I have to be someone I'm not. I have to be something more. I have to be what society told me to be in order to be successful, profitable, likable, palatable. I've found that the more I am just true to myself, the more I just unleash myself into the world, the more successful I become in every area of my life. It's not just about business. And it's because I'm accessing freedom, the freedom to be myself, like wholeheartedly and unapologetically allows me to access higher levels of my purpose, allows me to access that articulate, clear speaking. It allows me to access the kind of love that I wanted to call into my life. It's you being you opens up the doorway to create absolutely anything in your life.
Well said. The freedom only you need to chase, it's freedom to be you. Because
Yes.
if you chase other freedom, you're not free.
Yeah, money is not going to create your freedom. Love is not going to create your freedom. Your purpose isn't even going to create your freedom. It's you being free allows you to access the wholeness of all of those things.
That alignment.
Yes.
And thank you for Nicolette, for our alignment coach, mentor, to bring us back to alignment.
Yes.
All right. I will thank you for being here.
Yeah,
I'll stop the recording now. And thank you so much. Through alignment, Nicolette. Love it.
Yes.
And if you love this episode and you would love to see more of that, click the subscribe button to Purposeful Woman Podcast. And don't forget to text us to stay in tune with the Purposeful community for awesome tricks by texting to number +1 401 399 4105. And we will link descriptions in the episode to all of that we mentioned today. Bye. Turn your one day to day one with a purposeful day.